there it is. But as I grew older, I found that spelunking was one of my favorite hobbies as a young lad. And up around the Berks County area, there are a lot of local caves you could crawl in and spelunk around and such. And I could take classes up there too. And lo and behold, when I was working in the Nature Center about 5 years ago, Honey Hollow Nature Center, I heard about this problem with this creek that was right near me, and that it was over limestone. And suddenly I went, limestone. I said, this is going to be interesting. So just the other day, I hope this is going to work, the Primrose main flow coming from Soulbury School. And right here, we have the pirate sequel, pirate team. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Larry said, find a small student at Soulbury School. Right, Larry?
Well, yeah, because we couldn't impress upon the neighbors how serious the sinkhole situation was.
Right.
On the school campus.
Right. Now, there's a very good lawyer that Soulbury School has, right, Larry? So they're not defenseless. And he's very, very good at hydrogeology and karst topography. And here we are, right here, having this in our upstream reach. This creek is no more total length 4 miles at the most with all its tributaries.
1.7 square miles total watershed area.
Perfect. Yeah. So you count everything that goes in and then comes out at the Delaware, goes under a aqueduct of the Pennsylvania Canal along the Delaware River and flows right into the Delaware. So this is a very compact, small stream with a giant issue that goes back historically to the limestone that was free to all the farmers to sweeten up the land and also to have building blocks for Trenton and New Hope and Newtown and maybe even parts of Philadelphia. So between limestone and let me just get back to this here for a second here. I'm ready to start my presentation, so just thought I'd show you that to get you really interested in what's going to happen to the multi-million-dollar soccer field at Soulbury School when their defender is running down there getting ready to score a goal, and suddenly, where is he? You know? Okay, this is there. The arrangement is the quarry has to get up immediately and remediate. They have to sandbag and then fill in these things. And the whole story is fascinating, how the quarry has been pinned with this responsibility to react, and here's the kicker, as long as they're in business, and that's coming to an end real soon. So,
is this a natural sinkhole or from the quarry operation?
Well, there you go. And of course, one side argued one way and the other side argued the other. And according to the DEP, it was found that, yes, the quarry was culpable and needed to remediate. However, as I just said, the quarry is going out of business. So when I showed up, there were a large group of members of the board that hated dynamite, the explosions, the quarry trucks, just what a quarry does. So let me just set the stage here. So it's a little creek with big issues. And where it is, the Delaware curving around here. Ooh, would you hand me my black music pen? Sure. Pretty fancy, huh? Now let's see if it works. Oh, it doesn't work. Look, it works here, but it doesn't work on there. All right, forget it. Throw it up. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to use the laser finger. Delaware River, Pennsylvania Canal. The mouth is right here at Phillips Mill. Lathrop was a painter, a Pennsylvania Impressionist painter. Into his house is right there. And the stream's main channel going back up is bisected by this giant limestone quarry, which again started as a borrow pit, a free kiln, and back in the day, back in the 1800s. Solebury School is right here, right next to it on the main high wall of the quarry. And you can see the tributary goes out. Larry lives somewhere, I think up in here somewhere. You can point that out. And then up by the township building, it basically comes to an end. You know, this is our watershed. It's a pocket watershed, a tiny little one. So when Larry had brought David into the picture and we were able to get this grant, I thought, this is marvelous. We have a legacy experiment here that can be shown for years to come, even after the main people that are in the association depart, because they were there to close the quarry, you know, make it safe, etc. Okay, but let's talk about water quality, and let's bring the community into this to give them the ability to be stewards. Okay, so those are our big issues. As I said about the division, we do have literally two creeks. And as I've heard, it was good hearing from some people saying that the upper reaches of their creek isn't as good as the lower reach. And that's pretty much what we're finding out from our two mayflies, okay? The other things have definitely been picked over by the lawyer for the school about the dewatering the aquifer. And to specify your question, they have a geologist that testified, and I had to think about this for a while, that actually dewatering limestone causes the more rapid development of sinkholes in the karst topography. Think of it as almost like less water causing more the frequency of sinkholes. Are they going to have sinkholes? Yeah, they're going to have sinkholes. But how rapidly they produce is the key that the judge listened to the geologists and ruled in their favor. We have dry stream section, which I have some pictures, which I'll show you in a little bit. People in the neighborhood have had to drill deeper with their own wells as the quarry pumps large amounts of water out. We'll take a look at that. Water quality is degraded, and again, all this stuff, and this is our big finding about how algicide, let's spell it two ways, has influenced our creek. Okay, an old map from 1820 or something shows the yellow is the real, as it was the real creek. This is, at the time, Solebury was called Centerville, and down here was called Lineport. Lineport, think of that for a minute. Lineport, they don't use that name anymore, but there was a port on the canal and the river where they did lime exporting in barges. Then later they actually had a petroleum factory up here, but that's for another study. This map, 1884, love it. This is the Bucks County shape, but what we're looking at is anything stick out really interesting in the geology of Bucks County from 1884?
Limestone.
The limestone, the blue stuff, right here. Here, this is the Allentown Formation, and we have a little finger of it here too. And it goes from Phillips Mill. Our creek is between here and here, my two fingers, and it goes all the way out to Lahaska. So the next time you walk around Peddler's Village, you're actually walking on top of a karst topography finger that goes all the way out to Buckingham. Buckingham. As a matter of fact, that's where Bucks County got its name. Buckingham. Should have been Buckingham Township, Buckingham County, but they, you know, that was too long to write. Anyway, close up of this. What started again as an area right in the middle of the county where people would come, and there was a business of just scraping off whatever they could take and then using it to sweeten the fields. And Lineport again, right there. So the quarry looks something like this. The lake pond doesn't show up on this, but sorry, not pond. The lake that's filling in, Lake Primrose as we're calling it. But to get a better view, this aerial view, this is downstream. We're going to come up from the Delaware River, just barely here. We have a sensor right here. That's SL159. Then we come up to about this section. This is where David Bressler and I and Larry and a few other people were assaulted by a bow hunter when we were out there. One of our, so you always travel with Dave, you know you're in for a thrill. And, yeah, but wear orange. Wear orange. I saw you wearing orange because if they find you with, an arrow in the back, at least your wife can get something for you. Yeah, later.
What was that guy's name?
You know what? Is this being recorded?
You already did that.
We had Igor as one. That was our pet name for him. Anyway, that's the story itself, and I only have 6 minutes. So he was irate, and we moved on. But he had been to one of our meetings and didn't recognize us. But he wanted to kill us for walking on this area here. Okay, so you can see that the quarry literally has cut this in half. And for all the years they've been in existence since the 20s, anytime they've had a pump, they've had to pump it out and run it down here. And it's been kind of working that way, and they keep exploding and cutting it out. And they eventually got to the limit of the economic goods that they could have. They had to stop. This thing is starting to fill in. As of today, I don't know if they're doing any more commercial stuff except removing all the tailings that they had crushed.
Well, the quarry is several hundred feet deep. The height above mean sea level of the surface there is about 330 feet. So it's a tremendously deep hole. To continue mining the limestone, they must pump to remove water from the bottom of the pit. This pumping depletes not just the surface water, the creek, but the underlying aquifer, which is why we have sinkholes and dry residential wells.
This is one of them, right in the bed. This picture's taken right here, I believe. And as Larry said, the sinkhole development is tremendous. Of course, this would kind of go unnoticed if it was in the woods, but it's happening right here on the soccer field at Solbury School, and it's happening at the upper end where the residence halls are. So it's yet it's along the creek too. I'm simply showing you this to show you a baseline. This is essentially our water depth and conductivity, our normal reading somewhere between 180 and 200 millimeters. And then you have this. Now, can anybody tell me what that represents?
Must have stopped as far as pumping.
Exactly. Now, can you see how many days of continuous pumping, and can you see where their pump broke down and where they had to change the pump? Can you see it? Okay, so how many days of pumping do you think that is about?
So if the water level goes up when they pump, because they're dumping it out.
This is my downstream.
Oh, okay.
This is my downstream sensor. How many days? Anybody want to take guess from January 30th-ish to February 19th? Okay, you got a bunch of days. Continuous pumping except where they fix it. And these are
Storm events.
Storm events. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, now what I should throw into here, this is how we've essentially sold this to the teachers in New Hope Solbury Public School, in Solbury Private School, and Buckingham Friends. Okay, remember the sinkhole that I was talking about? Well, this is, and that you saw the movie? Well, this is what they had to do as an intermediate step, which is the sandbagging thing. And look, do you remember how little that hole was when I took the movie of it? In just 2 days, it had gone from something right this big to something that big. Now we measured the first couple of days of it. It was a 10-foot circumference. This is a good 40 to 50 feet. If you take a linear ride through this thing, which is kind of cut off. You really have a much larger area really going down fast. Any questions so far? Okay, so we had a perfect storm. This one, not a rainstorm. Okay, just of another happening. Okay, this was the beginning of the water going down, 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 down until it hit zero. Okay, so this is documenting when that sinkhole opened. There's an intermediate. Oh, this is downstream of the sinkhole. This is the one on Solbury School's property, and there's a pond in between this sensor and the sinkhole. It's a pond they used to call the cement pond. It's where they would swim in the 20s and 30s. So what was interesting is that we had another event. And this event, can anybody see anything that's kind of odd about the water? Color. Okay, it was a blue color that came down, and people were going, "What's this? What's this? What's this?" And then, look here. On when was this? The 14th. 3 days later, after the sandbagging, okay, and after they stemmed the sinkhole, we have the water suddenly shoot up, comes downstream, but what has made its way down past our sensor? Could it be the mysterious blue stuff?
Oh.
Yeah, could it be that stuff?
Cadmium.
Okay, so one of our directors is a Solbury supervisor. They called up the DEP, and just like you were kind of stepping around that issue there that you were talking about, he kind of no, but we share the same thing. I could tell by his demeanor that they had contacted the DEP and right, and they got people up there within hours. Go ahead, Larry. When would you finish?
Well, I don't really know the rest of the
Okay,
story.
well, yes, you do. Go ahead.
The state had a look, analyzed the problem chemically. It was copper sulfate dumped upstream, and then everything went quiet.
Yes, nobody said anything. So I said, because I don't live where they are, and I said, "Would you get the guy? What?" Go ahead.
That's dye, though, right? You're not looking at that much copper sulfate that you can see the color, because that's like a 5% solution. That's a lot.
It was
a lot.
It looked like the Caribbean.
It wasn't
water
dye.
was so bright blue.
It was conductive. It was.
What crazy person did that?
Well, it's somebody that likes their pool nice and clean.
Oh.
Okay, it's an algicide.
More likely
Poison.
a pond owner upstream who
Wants to get rid of the algae.
make a new start with a different fish variety, or who knows.
Right.
So he's moving the fish with
Kill everything in this pond.
Right.
Also
Okay.
kill the stream down.
So this is a very good lesson for high school and middle school students right here. And again, coinciding with our stream rise, suddenly coming back from a sinkhole. Now we've got this spike that moves down the path. Any other questions at this point? So our issues are pumping, sinkholes, and dumping. Real simple. Pumping and dumping with sinkholes in the middle. I've made my lesson go here. Our short-term goals, well, we've already done this, and we're all for the better for it. Thank you very much, Dave. We've collaborated with you and Steve with his materials about PTI, Pollution Index. What's PTI stand for? Tolerance index. Short stream bank buffer. Everybody's talking about buffers. I learned a lot today listening to you guys. It's not how big your buffer is. It's how thick and deep forest is around it. you know. And this weather, see, now I'm going to change this one to cleaning out fish ponds rather than septic dumping or something. And we know the quarry is closing. We know that there are sections of the creek, the upper creek, that are dry and have been very bad in maintaining the macroinvertebrates. But how do we know this? Because of the programs that we're running with those 3 schools. We have these 2, and this is our plan up there because we're near New Hope, so that's giving us New Hope. Okay, and here's one of our first guys, our stream stewards, proudly doing this on his own, stalking the wild primrose here.
Is that limestone at that point too?
Yes, this is on the campus of Silbury School. That is limestone. This is karst topography. So he might disappear, but he's been taught to put his arms out, you know, and to carry his net like that. Anyway, this is some of the kids' findings here with a little Stroud stuff there. And 19 is okay. It's not good, but this is up at Silbury School, upstream. Our downstream PTI is 20 in the high 20s, and we've got the usual suspects downstream. These are the nice guys downstream. We've got a nice shell. That's a caddisfly, right? Okay, and a whole bunch of other good ones. Indeed, isn't it very good, Mr. Stonefly? There it is. So that's downstream. Upstream, this is in really the impaired section. The water is definitely not as good. Not as good. So there it is. That's what PCA's, Primrose Creek Watershed Association, is doing. Any questions? Yeah.
So if one,
well, there must be other quarries that are hazardous.
Sure.
Yeah. Don't they have like precedents or laws that shutting down? I mean,
They have a bond on the quarry owners, and that's a refundable if they do the work leading up to them padlocking the place and walking away. So there is money that's put in escrow by the owners for reclamation. But the reclamation is scanty, and they can get out of Dodge real fast.
no.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
Speak out. Catharsize. Yes, yeah.
They go try to find.
Exactly. This is Pennsylvania, you know? Pardon me?
so question, based on what you said, they should just let the quarry fill up with water.
Well, now
Isn't they better off?
Well, I think it's going to happen, but there's going to be an outward pipe that's going to maintain a certain amount of flow. The direct flow should be reestablished from the upper reach to the lower reach. Larry, did you
Well,
do it?
without discussing all the politics and legalities, what we're after is restoring what was historically a trout stream, and in colonial times, a stream flow that operated an important mill there in Phillipsville.
Smoke, yeah.
And I guess we want to confine our discussion to data collection and what's going on rather than what to do about it.
Right. But that's a good question, and for someone that didn't know anything about, well, what happens when a quarry shuts down? And, just leave a big hole in the ground, But it will fill up, and the hydrostatic pressure will somehow get back to where it used to be, somewhere, maybe, or maybe not, because I'm not that measurement.
Anecdotally, on Valley Creek, there's that big quarry I think it's called Eckland. The water they discharge back in the creek below it, they take from the bottom of the quarry. It's cold water. And when the fishing boat goes in there and samples that, the trout are stocked so deep you can't see the bottom, literally.
Because they're pumping cold water into it.
Well, it's a siphon.
Yeah.
There's no pump involved. they're shut down at this point, but it's a siphon. And again, the biomass is through the roof.
So a silver lining you're talking about?
Well, it's something to look at. It's working there, and it's that one section that you can't see the bottom of the creek.
What kind of pollution tolerance index are we seeing in that situation?
The Valley Creek, it doesn't score that well. The limestoners don't, because it's a much smaller group of bugs in there. And
But the productivity tends to be a little higher, which is also a to the fish, so it's not quite as diverse, and the pollution tolerance isn't quite as high as a freestone system, but the productivity is higher, so more fish. And yeah, I think you're going basically to think of like a pour-over dam versus one where the water's coming from the bottom. It's a big difference in terms of temperature.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a really nice presentation. You can tell Francis was a teacher for his career.
Drama teacher? See, you bring lawyers in, you get that kind of.
Okay, stop recording.